Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Collegiate Season 2. We're in the middle of quarterfinals between Leo Esports from Sweden and Tampere University from Finland. My name is Zzleeper. I'm here together with Pidde, and we're about to go into game 2. Hi, everyone. Hi, hi, hi.
Sleeper, wake up! No, but first game went to Tampere. Tampere had a Draven at AD carry, and they just started snowballing together with Polar on his volley bear. So, as we said in the end of last game, hopefully from Leo's side, we're gonna see the bans coming out on Draven and volley bear. Otherwise, it's gonna be really rough for them.
And everyone, the news is in. Mid lane has been swapped out. Björn, I reckon, is not gonna play, and in comes Coins Ulti in mid lane. Gustav Järvgren is gonna take over the mid lane for the Swedes. Lund University looking for that game to force out a game 3 for them to have another opportunity to potentially go to playoffs alone in Jönköping.
That's all correct. And now we had Eirik before who wasn't on his main lane. Now we have Coin instead coming in as a mid laner, as he is a mid laner. So this might be the difference coming out for Leo that he can take this second game. But first ban from Leo is gonna be Volibear, and I expect that Raven to be a second or third one at least.
But I mean, it feels like I don't want to criticize Leo too much, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, it feels like they didn't scout because they let like 2 out of 5 players. I think 3 out of 5 players actually
Yeah.
play their main champions. It was like, oh, let's ban meta picks. Were probably better, and then they weren't, and they lost game 1. But okay, now they have a main mid laner in the form of Coin. Coin is known for big team fights. Like, that's basically Coin. Like, big
And
ultimates, big
and
boom boom
that's how
wow.
Leo played the last game as well, because Tampere took the lead from the lanes early game. They got fed, and soon as we moved into mid and late game, Leo, who was far behind in gold, XP kills, everything, actually won a few teams fights just because they played so well in them. But now this game, you know, adding Coin, who's usually when he plays with his main team, one of those players who makes the team fight happen for them. We've seen him a lot of Azir lately. The shuffle plays he made, Sleeper said, Kola Coins ulti. Might see it this game because it is open and it is really strong.
I think last ban's gonna be Caitlyn. Otherwise, they're gonna first pick it in Leo Esports. I think it's fun though. Coin, his name is Bardicted to you Coin because normally he plays mid lane from Bardicted to you together with Summer. Summer is top lane. But in this tournament, we actually have Bardicted to you into Bardicted to you as well. So like he's right now playing for 2 teams. Like he's not actually playing for Bardicted to you in, but like his name is saying otherwise. Caitlyn is open, guys. Caitlyn is open.
So is Scanner. The question is, if we're gonna put it for Andy or Summer on the top side.
Summer, that's disgusting, man. What are you doing? That's disgusting.
No, but Scanner has been, since the rework, he been picker banned all the time, especially throughout the RPS. I think saw him picked twice. Otherwise, he was always banned in the first round. So they banned him last game, and now they didn't ban him because they have to switch out some bans to counter the enemy for this game. And Skarner's open. Skarner's gonna be insta pick as well.
I was just about to say, didn't we say Uko plays Johnny top lane last season, and then they locked in Gragas? So now I'm not sure anymore. Like honestly, they could go anywhere, guys. I don't know. I'm just a caster. What do I know? Please
But they're
don't pick
doing
Kha'Zix.
they're doing what they usually do in Tampere here. They have a really tanky top and jungler, and they're gonna be the two engages for the team. Over at Leo, we're gonna see the coin hover. Viego's gonna get picked, and they should lock in, right? No, they just have to troll us a bit. These players have been casted by us quite a few times. They know how to troll us. Just showing the champions they know we want, the ones we predict, and they just take another one. But
Yeah.
Oriana, team fighting, how Leo play, Oriana is really well picked for him.
Yes, Garnet's gonna do this, and it's gonna go through the wall like, and then Coin is gonna do like Coin's ulti, and it's gonna be, and then resets on Andy's Cykelshove. It's gonna be like,
Sure. I
yeah,
believe. Team fights.
yeah.
Let's go. But from Tampere, you're gonna get the Syndra pick, who's a good counter into Oriana, I have to say, because you have this long range. Oriana needs to wait for the ball to fly through the air as well. Then we have Syndra, who's just gonna instantly do damage all the time. And Syndra gets her peak before Orianna. Orianna usually needs one or maybe two items before she can one-shot someone. Syndra, on the other hand, just needs one item, barely that, to be able to one-shot in a 1v1.
Yeah, 2 picks once again coming up here for game 2. Both Syndra and Gragas already played in this series. Worked out well for Tampere in the first game. That's when they won 1-0 right now. But I'm actually surprised priority on Caitlyn was lower from both teams. I mean, I get it. You don't first pick it, but right now they just let it go through, and Leo Esports will ban it because they have first pick in Tampere University in the second ban phase or second pick phase.
Yeah, you don't want to let her through then. And we see Temper just this last game gonna ban out the Rel as well as the Jin, and the Varus ban is gonna come out from Leo's side. So they played Varus last game. They don't want Temper to get him this time, so we're gonna ban it out instead. And Temper, yeah, you should pick a support. Save the AD carry to get the counter pick here, but Nautilus. So they swapping a little bit here. We're gonna ban Varus out, and Nautilus might go to Temper this time. We could see it in Leo Esports last game. And there we have the lock as well. And Misfortune getting hovered here for Leo Esports. Twitch, sure. I think they just gonna go for straight up.
Samira, go Samira, do it. Wombo combo, Syrakan,
Yeah.
Syrakan.
That should be a good pick because, as you said, the rest of their team they already picked for a team fighting comp. But the Braum also works really well for them. The stunts coming out from the passive as well as the ultimate. If we then can get Skarner, Orianna, and the Braum ultimate together, that should be the team fight. But if we look over to Temper so far, who are they gonna pick for the AD carry? They're gonna go for Away. They feel like they need some AD in their team right now.
Yeah, they can't go away. There's no way.
There we go.
Vayne?
Vayne, though. All right. So Mushroom Warrior is really comfortable as an AD carry. First Draven coming out. It's one of those champions who's very few actually can play. He did it really well last game and carried his team. But now a Vayne, not as long range, but still one of these 1v9 AD carries.
I mean, the best counter against Vayne is hard direct CC, and they don't really have that in Leo Esports. It's a lot of skill shots. I mean, if Lyrax can flash forward and add a basic attack, they could just basic attack her for a stun, but they still have to make it through 2 possible disengages in the form of Gragas ultimate and also Syndra knockback. You also have a Nautilus protecting the Vayne at all times. I really think the Vayne pick is really good here, and I think Leo will struggle.
Yeah, because we saw it last season here in Nexus as well as the last game that when we look at Leo Esports, he's one of these teams who don't want to play too much aggressively in the early game. They want to play for the mid and late game, come into the team fight, utilize all the champions they've picked so far. And Tampere, on the other hand, they play very much for the laning phase. They want to leave laning phase fed. And sure, we have Uka on Gragas top lane. We have Syndra. Syndra is scaling more for the mid game, late game. She's super strong, but a lot of focus on the early game from their side. So just having Vayne right now, who could be the carry in the late game, I think that will make the difference for them if they make it past the 35 minutes mark.
Okay, guys, let's break it down. Let's break this down. So top lane, we need Leo Esports to have some kind of a lead. Uko did a great job last game, even though Sama outfarmed him greatly. But Uko somehow still had much more impact on the game. If we look at that jungle, Polar was on his comfort pick Volibear. That made it very easy for him to path, made it very easy for him to get bot lane ahead. Question is if he can do the same thing now on Sejuani, as Andy Sukashuv is playing a way more difficult champion than last game. I talked about it earlier. Him being Emerald this season makes it difficult for him to maybe stand up against some of these players in Tampere University. Let's see how he can do it on Viego. And now the swap, of course, in mid lane, Coin instead of Iriken or Björne is a very, very comfortable player in mid lane. Iriken is originally a top laner and took in some instead. Solko and Iriken, I think they went pretty even in last game. So if Coin could get some lead, that would be really, really good. Bot lane is the big what is going on in this game. Because if Mushroom Warrior gets a lot of resources, he will just chop down both Samme and Lyrax. Doesn't matter if you have frontline when you face a Vayne, you're just gonna get killed off. So they have a bunch of CC. They have good disengage. They have good potentially set up in bot lane. Let's see how Andy Sukishit plays this game. or if Polar actually just takes over once again.
Yeah, and it's just as you mentioned, top lane is top lane. It's gonna go even. If we just look how it went the last game, mid lane, can Coin come in, be a little bit play a little bit better than Iric and actually take advantage of the lane? Junglers, they played it well, and they have more of a skill champion right now. Poppy, as you said, might have been something just that the coach said, you're gonna play Poppy, not a comfort champ, and we might see it here with Viego. But once again, the bot side is where all the eyes should be, because last game we had Mushroom Warrior just went ham with his Draven together with them with the Beep Bop, and didn't have as well of a big impact in the mid game. Early game really strong, late game they carried it, but mid game was something where they slowed down. And from Leo's side, we have a Saya together with a Braum. This so they need to really abuse this from Leo to have this. They have a longer range than Vayne. They should go for the trades all the time, because if we're gonna let Mushroom Warrior get fed on the Vayne as well as he played on the Draven, I don't know if Leo can stand up against it.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out, guys. Game one went to Finns. Tampere University picking that one up. Now, Lund University or Leo has to win game two to force out game three. Let's move into Summoner's Rift and find out if we get a game three or if it's the first Finnish team moving into playoffs.
Summoner's Rift.
So what are your expectations here now, Zzleeper, with Coin in mid lane? Do you think he will have
30
such a big
seconds
impact
until
that
minions
Leo is
spawn.
gonna look like a completely different team?
I think Coin is going to use his ulti, and that will have great impact on the game.
Right.
That's like my
Coin.
deep analysis of this game.
No, but as we mentioned in champs, like I think a lot of fighting will go on the bot side. The junglers should focus bot side this game as well as they did in the last one, because we have some on the Skarner. It's not gonna
Minions
look
have
for too
spawned.
many fights on top side. As when his jungler comes, sure, but until that, it's gonna be more of a farming lane. And then we look mid lane. We have Coin against Solko, and both are on scaling AP carries in mid lane. Orianna or Syndra doesn't really have too much in the first levels. Even when they hit level 6, they don't have the one-shot potential because they need more items. But as soon as we move into mid-game, they're going to be a bigger threat. And in the late game, both AD carries really need to watch out because they could both be one-shot.
Well, let's see if Coin can make the difference for Sweden. Solko looked really good on Syndra last game. Didn't destroy lane in any way possible, but he looked good nevertheless going into the mid game.
Yeah. But if you're going to pick out one player from each team this game, who's going to be the main carry for them?
I mean, it's Mushroom Warrior versus Samme. That's the name of the game here. I think Samme will have to play perfectly on his Skarner, potentially even destroying some top objectives.
Oh, they might
As
connect with this.
they're actually hitting a lot of damage here, investing their Ignite and double flash coming out. Could they secure this? They could not! As Mushroom Warrior now survives. Both sums used for Mushroom Warrior, but all but heal used for Leo as well. And I think there's a slow push. Maybe they could punish this lane immediately in the early game.
Yeah, they should be able to, because now they force a reset over on Mushroom Warrior, who's should struggle in the early game as a Vayne. At least he should, but you know, as he played last game, he might not. So just being forced to do a reset here, getting denied his whole wave, even a super minion, cannon minion, it's gonna cost him a lot. And the reset here for Askusun and Lyrax depends on what they can afford once they go B. If they could get just a dagger, sure, you're still gonna get the upper hand, but could be more. Might have been able to stay on the lane a bit longer just to get this big reset, come back and just completely take over the lane.
Both Polar and Andy Sukshu right now bot side. And it looks like Andy will just reset. And I think he will path for top scuttle, and that means Polar will just get the ball one.
Yeah, the junglers are on the same path here, but I actually think that Andy might try to get his first gank in on the top side to get some a little lead, because with the Skarner, if you get one kill ahead, you should be able to win the lane on that. And meanwhile, if we look at bot side, I think both AD carries and supports know that from last game into this one, they're gonna be a big focus. So They played aggressive in the first 2 levels. From now on, they might actually slow it down. In mid lane, though, Coin taking a lot of damage, but it won't be enough for Solko to pick up a kill.
Looks like Solko has to push, so that means Coin should be able to reset and teleport back and get a lot of this. Andy could wait for Coin to teleport back, but he's gonna go immediately in, hit that stun. Will not force out, doesn't matter! As he gets the kill, that's fine. They'll take that trade. Migo Bebop picking up a kill as well for the Finns, but getting first blood on a Viego, that's good early, good start for Sweden.
Yeah, it's exactly what they want. Andy, who didn't have the best early game in the last game, he did well. He got his ganks in, he got assists and kills, but fell behind a bit when we looked at the farm. But now having the first blood with him and leaving 1 kill over to Bebop, so Leo getting a kill for the jungler, Tampere is gonna get a kill for the support, and not only that, if you looked at the minion stage in the mid lane, you could see that Coin is back even now in farm, even though he needed to do a reset and didn't. Oh, he used his teleport, but just good to leave the laning phase where it was.
Yeah, Askusen and Lyrax has the opportunity to abuse bot lane now, as Mushroom Warrior doesn't have his summoner spells. But it looks like Andy is not very interested of pathing towards bot lane here in the early stages of the game.
It's going to be really rough for him to get in. Sure, when you see a gang from Andy on the bot side, they kind of have to commit to Bebop, and that's not the champion you want to attack. It's a Nautilus. It's a big tank with all this CC. You will not get your hands on Vayne that easy. So spending time on bot side for maybe getting a kill, it's not worth it for him because he's already ahead. He could just keep clearing the jungle camps, getting the objectives, then taking the secured ganks to just give kills to his teams and not waste so much time.
Both objectives will spawn now. We get a ping coming out here for Tampere saying they want to go for grubs. But it looks like he wants to go for the top gang first. Sam is in a little bit of an awkward state top lane as he cannot leave lane right now. But both junglers pathing for the same objective.
Yeah, so Andy first at the grubs here, and as you say, if somebody's gonna move down, they know that they're on the grubs. Polar is gonna sweep that ward out and most likely move down to grubs. Or not, they have no idea. They have no idea that Andy's there already.
Yeah, and also, I think Coin will just push out mid, and Solka has to catch that wave, so this is free for Leo.
Yeah, they might go for Dragon here over for Tampere instead, so the trade might come out as we usually see. It's grubs versus Dragon, but instead, it's going to be a reset from the bot lane in Tampere as well as we see Polar is actually still on his red buff, so hovering topside, but it's such a hard lane to gank. Either if you go against Skarner, it might just use his ultimate, it's going to run through walls. If you try to get to a Grog as well, same thing there. He just got his jump, he got his slow, he got his ultimate, so it's such a rough lane to gank on the top side.
They actually just miss Andy with the plant. Meaning that if Coin could set this up with ulti, that means Andy can get in on Solko, but it looks... No, he cancelled reset. I think they're gonna go for it in mid lane.
Yeah, but we also see Polar is really close by. So if they're gonna go for a gank mid lane, we're gonna have a big fight for it. And Dragon is up, so it should be a focus both junglers, but they're actually still pathing topside. And I don't know why, because bot is even. They could just deep push any lane of them and just go for the Dragon. As well for mid lane, there's no minions there. So it feels like the focus for the objectives ain't that big this game. I think they just want to farm and fight for the mid game.
I mean, if we look at scaling, there's potential in both teams. Mostly for Leo, I would say Andy Sukashiv is the one who scales really good into this game. And obviously for Tampere, you have both Mushroom Warrior and Solko who will be really strong in late game.
Yeah, the champions they picked is like, all right, if we get into late game, we will one-shot people. But on the other hand, Leo also have those champions. Not as much of 1v1 one-shot, but team fight potential to just have big combo, delete the enemy team, and then play from that is where they want to stand. So once again, it feels a little bit more of the scrimmage team is going to come in from Tampere. That's team. That's just how they play. The team comp they put together. Leo, on the other hand, is really just playing for the big team fights.
Yeah, they're suspecting they're on Dragon and will be notified by the game that that is going down right now. We see both, like Coin used ulti in mid lane. We missed that, but he tried to go for the solo bolo as Solka has to reset. Doesn't really have teleport yet, so we'll probably lose a little bit of a farm diff here in mid lane.
Yeah, they're both really low, but Uko can't really commit to it. We see Sami's gonna push up top side. So Uko not gonna do a reset. He needs to run top. That's too many minions for him to miss out since he's already behind. It's 83 against 57 for the top laners, and now just denying more and more minions on Uko. He might get some play here. Never mind, Sami's playing a Scanner. He can run through walls and everything.
We have to kill that minion so we can go into bush. No vision in bushes for Tampere University in bot lane. Migo Bpop is looking aggressive. I think they just want to crash the wave for Tampere and reset, but that puts them in a situation where potentially Andy Sukichu could initiate here. He has to have the patience though. It looks like he's gonna reset.
Yeah, it's not gonna waste too much time there. We can see the grubs are coming up in less than a minute, and the top lane. It just feels like both junglers are hovering top lane, but there's no one going in for the gank.
But something has changed though. In the last game, a lot of resources on Mushroom Warrior. This time, it's way more even. If we look at the gold, there's actually a lead for Leo University, something that like never happened in last game. So let's see how they can play from a
Oh,
lead.
the
Coin
dodge.
being fancy with the steps here, taking
Is
way
it
less
enough
damage,
though?
but Solko with ultimate, and it will not be enough. Look at those fancy feet dancing in mid lane as Coin stays alive.
Ice cold sidestep, and from that, yeah, just gonna survive that. He shouldn't have survived it from the beginning, but
No
here
mana
we
on
are.
Uko. Ulti is still available for Samme. He's waiting for the flash. There you go. But he's gonna stay. What? Never mind. He's dead. He's just dead.
Gragas is down, everybody, and it's 2-1 in kills in favor for Leo Esports. We're 11 minutes into the game and only 3 kills so far. Last game between these two teams, I think we had 12 kills after, what, 7 minutes?
Yeah, big difference in aggressiveness from Finland. As Tampere University not investing the same amount of resources. Maybe it's not a, the same comfort playing Sejuani for Polar because Volibear last game was an absolute stomp from his side. I think this game so far, I'm more impressed by Andy Sukashev than I am by Polar.
Yeah, furious. We've seen Andy looking for these ganks, but I think it is because no one has ganked bot side yet. That's where we saw them from last game. Polar just lived on bot side. It was gank, went away for 10 seconds, ganked again, and then went for a third gank. So for him not being able to gank bot as easy as he did last game puts him in a very awkward position because, as I mentioned, top is really hard to gank. He tried in the mid lane, but Coin just sidestepped that, so mentally you don't want to go mid again. So I don't know exactly what lane we want him to go for. It might just be better just farm what it's done so far and come into the mid game.
Yeah, after Summer secure that kill in top lane, securing his first item, and now it will be more difficult for Uko to lane, as Summer has better wave clear and also a lot more defensive resources.
For sure is. But 6-0 in grubs, this push potential is there. CC's gonna hit.
Yeah, that's good damage coming out from Leo as they commit very, very hard here to Solko. Once again, Koi coming in with that clutch ultimate. We talked about it earlier. This is a player who loves to do big team fights, who loves to invest a lot of resources into those fights. Migo Bebop now in a bad situation as Snare is still available, has to flash away to not get hit by that, but that Ignite
Is it
might
enough?
tick enough as Flash comes out from Askason together with his ultimate to secure that kill.
Yeah, you just want to secure that kill. Like, no matter what you use, it is worth it. So you're just going to use his summoner and ultimates to get the kill, and now they can push in bot side. Might even go for some platings here, and Mushroom Warrior should get be denied for a few more minions. But right now, Dragon is going to spawn soon. First Drake went over to Tampere, and they should play for the second one as well, because, as I said, both of these teams are very scaling, so try to get a soul this game should be something they would look for.
Yeah, a lot of pinks coming out for Leo when we see Polar moving bot side. And yeah, having some tech issues here. But right now, oh, look at the tufts on my head. The tufts is crazy, guys. Look at this tufts. What's
It's
going on?
always there.
Yeah, but look, this is too much. This I'll cover my tops, okay. But Leo coming out clutch here in the early game, looking way better than they did last game. Tampere not showing their true colors here as they get a little bit more awkward picks, not getting those pockets picks that they're used to. Both Vayne and Sejuani right now is perhaps not as strong as they were last game.
Yeah, for sure not. But once again, last game, Tampere played a very early game team. Almost all champions they picked were for the early game. Now we have 2, 3 champions playing for the late game instead, which puts them in a situation that they're not used to. That's usually not how they play. But I think so far they played it really well. As I said, if they're not used to it, they're playing this good so far. They might have a good shot at the late game.
Yeah, and also Tampere right now leading 1-0 in this best of three, meaning Leo has to win this game to force out game three. Otherwise, it's Tampere who moves on into the semifinals. That will be played in Jönköping the 20th of June, also being the first Finnish team to move forward as KTHFF already done so. They are the reigning champions, and the final last year was actually just between Tampere University and KTHFF, and Tampere defeated Leo last year. So these three teams that will fight for the final spot in the finals, I mean, they have history from last season.
They for sure have, and I don't know. Leo might take this to a game 3, but as mentioned, they lost to Tampere last year. And if we go to KTH I don't think they changed any players. I think they have the same lineup as they always do, but the rest of the teams here have switched out 1, maybe 2 players, and that impact could be enough for them to not have as good of a season as they did last one.
I actually think Bardic to you End also has the same roster as last season. I'm gonna double check, but I think so. I think so. We'll tell the observer we have no sound. As oh, okay. So should I cast this? Oh, okay. Well, a kill
It-
coming up for Same in mid lane as Coin is doing really well here.
There's still some technical issues with the observer, so we're gonna do it like this, so we at least can see the game. That's something. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna cast from as it is right now. They're gonna put a lot of effort throughout on this mid lane, and I actually want to see them commit with the Herald on second charge. They had a lot of minions. There were 3 players against 2 could have committed to it, but at the same time, top laners fighting it out. 2,000 spells, 0 damage,
Yeah,
and 2
no,
billion health.
Same got this. Same is doing a lot of damage. I don't think Uko can get out. I think Uko's just gonna go for the minions because he knows he's dead. He's gonna take a tower shot here as well. Look at Same. He has such a big lead in top lane. He's just having a good
Oh,
time.
he's out
That's yeah, he's gonna
so
try
far.
at least. Look at that rock. Will probably fly as an observer likes to watch fun stuff.
And then
Bot
with
lane now. Flash coming out from a coin as Polar gets a good angle and a good flank on the mid laner.
oh, the
Mushroom
commitment
Warrior
there.
not coming in bot lane. A lot of CC's gonna hit. That should be enough as Archangel Staff gets activated and Polar takes a lot of damage. Goes down really low, but there's no members available for Leo, and that means they get away with murder.
Yeah, they played really well. They saw an opportunity and they took it to do that dive, and they should do it because right now they're a little bit behind in the gold. We're talking about 3,500. They still have the advantage in Drakes as they had the last game, but they're behind. They need to get every pick they can because right now
What?
Leo is just pushing through mid lane instead.
What did Sulko just do? He teleported into 3 members of Leo who just instantly killed him. He wasted teleport and he wasted his life. They still got turret. That was questionable for Tampere University.
And we say thank you for the zoom. Now we can see more than one champion in the team fights. But Dragon is up very soon. It's gonna be a soul point if they take it over at Tampere. If they're gonna take it, it's just about buying themselves more time. My question is, do they want to buy more time in this game? Do they want
I
to
mean,
try to outscale Tampere?
I feel like it doesn't really matter right now because the man they needed to be strong is strong, and the man they needed to be weak is weak. Same is strong, Coin is strong, Askerson is strong, Andy is strong, Dale looking good. Mushroom Warrior is not in the game quite yet, which means that right now everything is in Leo's hands. The only one standing in the way is themselves.
All right, the dragon is coming up now. Just a few seconds left for it, and as we see on the minimap, it's just Tampere who's there right now. Never mind, there's no longer. I got confused. We have Leo on it right now because Tampere is gonna commit to the top side. So in this position, I think Tampere is gonna do the right thing. They don't need to fight for the strakes, not give them too much of a buff. But if they can push this side lane, it could give them a lot
Oh,
to
good
get
from
back to the
Uko
game.
here on Summit. Chain CC coming out. Summit is tanky, but he's so lonely, doing whatever he can to stay alive for as long as possible. It looks almost like a base race. I don't think this is worth for the Swedes.
I think they should just push here. There's quite some time before they get the new wave. We just coin, he can clear that wave really easy with his
He can
ultimate
ult
as
them
well.
just because it's fun.
Yeah, and here we go. We're gonna trade one inhib for one inhib. We're gonna get top inhib going over to Tampere, but from the Leo side, we're gonna get the mid inhib. And what do you prefer? Do you want to lose your mid inhib or your top side, bot side? Which one is the worst one?
I mean, the worst one is that you need to trade when you have the lead that Leo has. But like, if I have to pick, it feels like mid lane is a little bit better because they could play side lanes. They could be really annoying.
Yeah, I agree
Uh,
with you. Uh,
but I mean, honestly, if you have the lead Leo has, you should never trade an inhib. The fact that they even got turret into inhib just means that they were more decisive in their decisions, and they couldn't really make the same decisions in Leo, and that punished them.
no, it looked like they were gonna win the trade big, but this time they traded two towers each, one inhib each. The only thing that they got from Leo's side was the dragon, but as I said, I don't think this dragon's gonna matter this game. Won two dragons with 21 minutes into game. It took them a very long time to get the first dragon, so might see a soulless game this time.
Yeah, now they're just gonna put Mushroom Warrior on farm duty, already out farming everyone on the map. Giving free resources to this vein, I don't know, guys. I need to see something more here. I think it's pretty questionable at the moment.
Yeah, because if we look right now, both AD carries they farmed well. They have two kills each, but Mushroom Warrior, just as the last game, has the little upper hand coming into the team fights. And after that trade they just did with the towers and inhib, it feels like Tampere is back on even grounds.
Yeah, looking for damage now to secure the kill as he gets chain CC. Doesn't matter, can go up in the air as the feathers fly left, right, and center. I mean, they
And
should be pretty happy with that. Polar still has the flank though. Should be able to get back in as Andy's taking a lot of damage. Trying to turn this fight onto Uko. Cannot get resets, and that's when he dies.
yeah,
Taking a lot of damage now. Good ulti
oh
coming out from Summit. They're looking for the jungler because they want to be able to neglect them this Baron. Doing good damage from Coin on the top side of the fight. Looking for Mushroom Warrior. One more basic should do it. Coin coming up clutch. Together with Summit now walking into the mid lane. Look at them go as Sweden is looking for the biggest fight so far in this game. Let's see if Coin can catch up. We'll try to do so. Double flash coming out from both teams, and it's a win for Leo Esports.
yeah, they Leo played that really well, but I think pointing out that the mistakes were made from Tampere was more important because when they tried to engage the team fight from the start under the tower, they threw an ultimate, backed off, didn't really look if it hit, and it did. Went in again, threw a new ultimate, left it alone, and it's like, guys, your ultimates are hitting. You need to commit to it. It was just back and forth for them. So now when Liu coming in the second engage in the team fight, they have all their ultimates. They have all of their summoner spells, but over at Temper, there's nothing left.
Right now, Sweden. It felt like Leo. They threw a big trade earlier where they let Tampere get back into the game, and then all of a sudden they pull the trigger and they're back in the lead. 4K goalie right now, and they should be able to take over the map a little bit more. You can see Lyrax moving up the wards. One is there in mid lane as Mushroom Warrior and Zolko is passing it. Maybe they're looking for a pick here.
And it might do something like that. They should look for these picks. Both of these teams should just look for the picks because it feels like once they go into the full 5v5, the last one was messy under towers. I don't really count that in. It's very even. They just get one kill and they back off. They can't really commit to anything else. So getting a pick before a team fight here could mean that they actually decide to, all right, we're going to commit fully to this team fight because we have objectives up. We have Baron up. Dragon
Oh,
is
good
2 now.
ulti coming out here. They're looking for Sami. Sami is the tankiest member. Will try to stay alive for as long as possible as Askerson is trying to damage on Mushroom Warrior. Mushroom is still alive as Coin comes out clutch with the ultimate. Resets on Andy. Means Polar will probably go down on the side as well. This is good for Leo Esports. Looking for Mushroom Warrior. Reset once again on Andy, who's looking for a third potential kill. Double kill instead for Askerson. Leo could potentially close it out right now.
They should be able to. They have 1 super minions, 30 seconds before anyone spawn over at Tampere, and it's 4 versus 1. They should be able to do this. This is just the position Summer was in last game.
Yeah, Coin's ulti. Kolla Coin's ulti, everyone. That's what we talked about. Coin being so clutch in the big team fights, doing it once again for us all. Sweden now taking home the second game, forcing out game 3. It's gonna go all the way, guys.
Right, so the first 2 games were very different. The first game was Tampere having this early game just snowballing with Mushroom Warrior on the bot side. Now in the second game they couldn't get that started as they wanted, and we could also see Polar didn't be as explosive as he is when he played on his Volibear, and Leo taking advantage of that, forcing this team fight, getting a little gold lead, and here winning 2 team fights in a row, finishing games straight away.
I mean, really clutch. They made a substitute come in. That was Coin. Coin played perfectly here in game 2. And a big reason they actually made it to game 3. So let's see what they can do once again in the deciding game. A winner in next game will make it to Lawn 20th of June and will represent their country and their university as they try to seal the second season of the Nexus Collegiate. We'll have a small break. When we get back, it's time for game 3.